everybody, Lance is back with the Daily Quickie. Now this story I actually saw over the weekend. It kind of went under the radar with everybody, but I'm going to talk about it today. And I'm going to say why don't worry. It says, as you see on the screen, Jim Beam employees strike after failing to agree on new contract. Now apparently this has been going on as far as contract negotiations for a while, and I didn't even know about it. Now according to WAVE down in Kentucky, I believe this is Louisville. It says Jim Beam's distillery workers at 2 local operations officially hit the picket line after failing to agree on a revised contract. Despite a federal mediator, both the union workers as well as the distillery are waiting for the other side to respond. Now, if there is one thing both can agree on, is love for the Jim Beam product. Now, Bill Ball said this is the greatest bourbon in the world. Now, stop right there. People, my understanding that people work in those distilleries. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a Jim Beam guy. I've always been a lifelong Jack Daniels guy. They love what they do. Now, I think in this particular, and I'll get later into this article, it's not necessarily about the money in this case. But we're going to continue. It says it's with a torn heart, Ball stood outside the Bullitt County Distillery on strike with his fellow union members in response to the newly revised proposed contract. The walkout affects more than 200 employees at his Beam in Claremont and Boston and Nelson County. Now it says here they're trying to gut our seniority rights, Ball explained. We are out here because our temporaries brought in by, I think there's over half the people working here anymore are temporary. You know, it's just the way of life now, guys. I mean, a lot of companies bring in temporaries because, one word, insurance. They don't have to pay the insurance for most part. And I'm talking about health insurance. I'm not talking about like employment, and I'm not talking like employment insurance, something like that. I'm talking about straight up health insurance. Now, it says here, Beam Suntory, the manufacturer Jim Beam, responded to the strike with a statement saying that the company has gone in contingency plans to continue its product supply. Okay. Now going further down this article, it says Ball says terms was far from attractive. With the vague language, they can get in there and take our rights away from us. What rights we do have. Those rights include giving senior workers the choice of what jobs they want and what shift they prefer within the distillery. Plus, Ball said with every year workers put in, the stronger the relationship between the two groups should grow. It is not about the money. It's about respect and the amount of hours we put in this place, he said. We love our jobs. I don't know anybody who likes doing it. Now, hold on. If you're talking about that type of seniority, the first thing that pops in my head is the airlines when there's a merger. Because, normally, especially when there's a merger or a strike, the entire holdup is not about the money. It's not about, supplies, what planes they're going to sell, hubs, things like that. It's all about pilot seniority. And that usually holds up deals forever. And this sounds like the exact same thing. Now, I'm not saying, because I don't know anybody working those distilleries, they're trying to run roughshod over what they can have and can't have. I don't know. So if you know, please let me know. Now, and it says here on the USA Today article, if I get it to pull up, and I apologize for that. It says here, I'm trying to find it now. It says here they're working a lot of hours. Now, last Tuesday, it says employees voted 201 to 19 in favor of rejecting a contract proposal, and later voted 174 to 46 in favor of rejecting a revised proposal and officially going on strike. Now I'm looking for it and I don't see it, and I had it up and I apologize for that. Here we go. It says here that, but the plants have brought in more temporary crew members. This is Mr. Mudd said. The company's not fulfilled its commitment to hiring full-time employees. Now the workers in the bottling and other departments are pulling 12-hour shifts 6 or 7 days each week. All through negotiations, trying to make the point that we're trying to change is the atmosphere. It's about the people, not much so anything else. Now, until the strike ends, company officials said they would carry out contingency plans and to keep operations running at the 2 facilities. Now, the company did not offer specifics about those plans. No shortages about the company's famous bourbon are expected. Now, this is important. Now, they have 4 plants. Now, there's another plant that also makes Jim Beam that's a part of a different union that's not affected. And the other plant produces Maker's Mark. And that's not even involved in all, because my understanding, the articles I read so far is non-union. But I'm going to go after you, and I'm talking to you, Newsmax. Jim Beam labor strike. Hope your bourbon drinkers stocked up. Now, I call bullshit in this article. Now, let me tell you something. When you're making Kentucky whiskey or Kentucky bourbon, I got newsflash for you. They have reserves and lots of them. And it has nothing to do with striking. They have, if they just run out of supplies themselves, I guarantee you, they probably have at least a year's supply in reserves. At least. Maybe more. If you know if they have more, let me know. Because don't even put out an article like that so there's a run on bourbon. And I was reading articles I'm not even going to get into in this video about other distilleries ramping up. Folks, you Jim Beam drinkers, you'll be fine for right now. I don't think Beam or their parent companies are going to price gouge. I just don't fucking see it. You'll be fine. And I don't even drink Jim Beam. I mean, I don't think I'm going to see a 40% cost in price if I go to the store and look at it on the shelf later on today. Or whenever. I don't see any type of other bourbon shooting up in price. I mean, this strike is going to work itself out. It always does. Unless the workers at the Beam distilleries in question are treating us like the pilots and the airlines as far as seniority. They can run roughshod or everything else. And honestly, the temporary problem is an issue too, but like I said at the beginning of this video, that has more to do with it's cheaper for a company to have temporaries than to have regular employees. Now, and that has to do with, the whole insurance deal was an entire different story for a different day. I hope that works itself out for them guys down there. Well, folks, what say you? What do you think about this? Please let me know. Well, folks, that is it for the Daily Quickie for October the 18th, 2016.